Bitcoin is coming closer to a huge breakout, and this could be the start of the next phase of the bull run. Bitcoin is almost closing the CME gap of last weekend, so this is also very bullish. In this video I'm going to have a look at several bullish charts for Bitcoin because I think there are some interesting things happen on the charts. There's a lot of interesting news from the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETFs, and also Trump is becoming very bullish on Bitcoin, which I will talk about in this video. Later in the video I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Ethereum and Vechain. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end to don't miss anything. Please like this video because it will be highly appreciated by me and it will help my channel a lot. And with that being said, now let's dive right into the charts. So we can see that Bitcoin almost closing its the CME gap of last weekend around the $97,456, and some hours ago we came very close, but we didn't close the CME gap yet. So this the CME gap is still open from last weekend, and just like I said earlier in my videos and earlier in this week, Bitcoin is going to close this gap in the rest of the week, and now we're coming closer to this level. And we can also see that Bitcoin is shifting from a bearish trend into a bullish uptrend. So this is looking very bullish. And let's see on the 1 hour time frame if Bitcoin can just continue the bullish uptrend with higher highs and higher lows. And that of course could bring Bitcoin all the way back to the $100,000. So this CME gap is about to close, and this could be very bullish. And just like I said earlier in my videos, you could have been buying Bitcoin at these lower prices because I think the CME gap would be closed later in the week, just like we are seeing right now. So if Bitcoin closes this gap, we can trade freely during the rest of the week. And if we zoom out to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is coming closer and closer to a huge apex. In this formation we can see multiple touch points here on the top side as resistance, and also on the lower side we can see this huge block of support. Yesterday we fell below this level and we saw a big fake out for Bitcoin. Currently we're coming back to the top side resistance, so Bitcoin always breaks out before the apex is getting reached. So we were most likely going to see a huge break to the top side or a break to the downside, of course, and that will be a bearish scenario. But if we have a look at the bullish scenario, I'm going to wait for a confirmation of the break, then I'm going to wait for a retest of the resistance to test it as support, and then we can aim for higher targets, and then the top side of the resistance of this formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around to $100,000. So this could be the next move for Bitcoin in the coming days that could unfold. And yeah, for me, I think we're seeing more chances that we're going to see a break to the top side. And on the lower side, this huge horizontal support is holding very strong. And at this horizontal support, I was buying more Bitcoin for the long term. So this could be the next move for Bitcoin that could play out in the coming days. And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin ETFs of yesterday, we can see the flow was very negative because we saw an outflow of $64.1 million, and this was especially because Fidelity was selling a lot of Bitcoin yesterday. We didn't see any Bitcoin ETFs buying Bitcoin, so we want to see more inflows. And as you can see, the total cumulative inflow is still above the $40 billion, but it is looking very weak actually. So we want to see more inflows because in the last weeks we saw a little bit more outflows than inflows. So let's see if BlackRock, for instance, can buy a big portion again, and it will pump up the price of Bitcoin, of course. And let's see if today and tomorrow can be bullish for the Bitcoin ETFs in the last days of the week. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETF flows of yesterday, we can see a little bit of a bullish day ahead. We saw a $19 million of total inflow, and this was especially because Fidelity was buying a lot of Ethereum. So this is looking very bullish, and Fidelity bought for $24.5 million. So let's see if we can see the rest of the week as well be bullish for the Ethereum ETFs. And it looks like Ethereum is going to start to move up again, but I will tell about that later in the video. And if we have a look at another 4 hour chart, we can see this huge falling channel formation is still occurring on the 4 hour time frame. On the top side we can see a lot of touch points as resistance, and on the lower side we can see multiple touch points as support. And this falling channel formation is a typical bullish bias pattern because after a huge pump we're now seeing a huge consolidation to the downside a little bit, and the chances are bigger that we're going to see a bullish break to the top side. But of course we can also see that this resistance is a little bit strong, that we're going to see a rejection today, that we all come all the way back to the lower side of this support, and that could bring Bitcoin all the way back to the $93,500. So for now, we are currently at the top side of this formation. So let's see if we can force a break to the top side, retest the resistance as support, and then aim for higher targets. And the top side of the formation will be confluent with the breakout targets, just like we saw with the other pattern. And this is the same breakout target. So this could be a very strong indicator that we're going to see this breakout target getting reached in the coming hours and days. So as I said, currently we are at the top side of this resistance. So let's see if we can force a break to the top side today, because that would be, of course, very bullish for the price of Bitcoin. And zooming all the way out to the daily time frame, we can also see this huge formation is unfolding. This triangle is coming closer to an apex, and we're almost at the apex. And on the top side, we can see multiple touch points as resistance, and on the lower side as support. And the price of Bitcoin is getting squeezed into this apex, so eventually Bitcoin has to pick a side. So it's going either to be a break to the top side or a break to the downside. And yeah, if we're going to have a look at the higher time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in a bullish uptrend. So we could expect a little bit of a continuation to the top side. And as we can see here, we are creating higher highs and also higher lows on the charts. And this indicates that Bitcoin is still in a bullish uptrend. So the trend is your friend until it ends. And most likely we are going to see higher chances that Bitcoin is going to create a higher high. And that, of course, will be a continuation of the bull uptrend. So, yeah, I think we will see a break to the top side, a retest of the resistance to test it as support, and then we can aim for higher targets. And the breakout target will be confluent with the top side of this formation, and that will also be confluent with the previous all-time high of $109,000. So, this could be the start of the next phase of the bull market for Bitcoin if Bitcoin is going to break out bullish. And I also have some very interesting campaign of OKX. And if you want to earn a share of the $200,000 in IP prize pool, you just have to register to join the campaign, make a net deposit of at least 100 USDT and trade at least 300 USDT worth of IP pairs. So this is interesting, and I am going to trade more IP. So join this campaign now and start trading your IP on OKX. And yesterday we had some very interesting news, and that was that President Trump says he ended Joe Biden's war on Bitcoin and crypto. And he's also saying that he's committed to making America the crypto capital of the world. So he said it earlier, and this could also be very bullish for Bitcoin, especially when he's going to buy Bitcoin for a strategic reserve for America. And if that happens, the floodgates of money will be opened for Bitcoin. And yeah, we see a lot of price impulses for Bitcoin in the coming months. So I'm still holding my Bitcoin, and maybe I'm going to buy a little bit more, because these kind of news articles are very bullish for me, in my opinion. And we also have the Fed Minute Show, a discussion on pausing quantitative tightening and keeping rate cuts possible in 2025. And of course, this will be very bullish for Bitcoin and also for stocks, because if we're going to see quantitative easing, and that means that we're going to see a rate cut in the 2025, we will see higher prices for assets just like Bitcoin and stocks, because more money is going to flow into the markets, and more money means higher prices for Bitcoin and stocks. So I think the next months will be very bullish for assets. And zooming all the way out to the weekly time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in this huge bull flag formation. Last year we saw a bull flag formation unfolding. We saw a lot of consolidation. We saw multiple weeks, and this was a multi-month consolidation. But eventually we broke out bullish. We retested the bull flag as resistance, as support, and then we saw a next impulse. And now we are currently inside of this other bull flag formation. And as I'm always saying, a bull flag formation is a typical bullish bias pattern, which tend to break to the top side more often than to the downside. And on the weekly time frame, we can also see that Bitcoin is in this uptrend. So let's see if Bitcoin can continue the bullish uptrend to the top side. And if we're going to see a break to the top side, that could start the next phase for Bitcoin in the next bull market. So I think if we're going to see a break to the top side of this bull flag formation, Bitcoin could reach levels around $130,000. And of course, this is an insane target, so let's see what could happen. But there's also a bearish scenario possible that Bitcoin breaks below this support area of this bull flag formation, and that we are going to retest the support as resistance. And then my first big target on the lower side support will be around the top side of the previous bull flag, and that will bring Bitcoin all the way back to the $70,000. But that's of course the bearish scenario, and I think if that happens, we should be cautious that we're potentially going to see a bear market. So for now, we are still in this bull flag formation, and I think we will see a break to the top side. And let me know in the comments, what is your price prediction for Bitcoin in 2025? Personally, I think we will see levels around to $150,000 in 2025. But let me know in the comments what your thoughts about this price prediction is. And the first altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. We can see Ethereum is respecting these horizontal levels very carefully, as I'm always saying in my videos. And these horizontal levels are now getting respected very carefully, as I said. And we're currently at this huge support area. So, of course, we came from these highs, and now we're seeing a beautiful downtrend for Ethereum. We're seeing a huge capitulation, but now we're holding these supports very strong. And in the past, we can see multiple touch points here as support and also as resistance. So this is a very interesting level. And at this level, I am buying more Ethereum, just like I said in my earlier videos about Ethereum. And also, if Ethereum is coming lower and lower to these next horizontal supports, I'm going to buy more Ethereum for the long term, because eventually I think that Ethereum will see prices above the $5,000 or maybe the $10,000 in this coming bull run. So for now, this support is holding strong. So let's see if we can maybe see a bounce to the top side again and create a more bullish uptrend for Ethereum. And of course, we need to break this previous resistance, because we are now falling below this support. And let's see if we can see more bullish uptrend for Ethereum in the coming days. And of course, also the last weeks we saw a huge formation unfolding for Ethereum, and that was this huge triangle. On the top side we saw multiple touch points as resistance, and on the lower side we saw this huge support coming into the market. We finally broke down, and we're now seeing this consolidation on the 4-hour time frame. So let's zoom in on the 4-hour time frame, where we can see it much clearer. So also this formation is coming closer and closer to a huge apex. So Ethereum will most likely be breaking out today or maybe tomorrow. So I'm going to wait for a breakout of the confirmation of the breakout. Then I'm going to wait for a retest of the resistance to test it as support. Then we can aim for higher targets. And then the top side of this formation will be around the $2,800. And of course, we could also see a bearish scenario possible that we're going to break below it. But I'm always a little bit more bullish than bearish. So let's see what happens for Ethereum in the coming days. And if we're going to see a little bit zooming out to the daily time frame, you can also see that this huge support level was finally broken to the downside. So if Ethereum is going to break out of this huge triangle, we could potentially see a retrace back to this level. But then we can also see possibly a big rejection, because this support could then be retested very bearish, and it could be retested as resistance. So keep in mind that if Ethereum is going to break out, we could also see that this huge support can be retested into resistance, and that would also be a little bit of a bearish retest. So this could be the next make or break move for Ethereum. And let me know in the comments, do you hold Ethereum in your portfolio, and what are your thoughts for Ethereum in 2025? And the next altcoin I want to have a look at is Vechain. We can see that Vechain is also respecting these horizontal levels very carefully. Currently we are at this support level, and in the past we can see multiple touch points here as resistance and support. And we're respecting this level very carefully. So if we zoom in a little bit on the daily time frame, we can also see that this this is looking a little bit more bearish right now. We saw a huge run up from the bear market lows for Vechain, and now we are seeing a huge downtrend unfolding. So this is looking a little bit bearish, of course. But if we then have a look at another chart of Vechain, we can also see that this huge support level was finally broken to the downside, because we saw multiple touch points as support, and the more times we touch a certain level, the weaker it gets. So we broke down, and now we are creating this potential W pattern, and a W pattern is actually a bullish bias pattern, because a double bottom could indicate a reversal, and the W pattern is a typical reversal pattern. So if we're going to retest this previous support as resistance, you could also maybe be a little bit more cautious, because this level could be very strong, and we could also see a rejection from this level again. So what we want to see for Vechain, of course, is that we're going to break above this level again, retest the resistance as support, and that we have to aim for higher targets. And that, of course, will bring Vechain all the way back to new bull market levels. Currently we are at the 3 cents, and of course the all-time high is around the 25 cents. So let's see if Vechain can be more bullish right now in the coming months. And let me know in the comments, are you still bullish on Vechain, and what is your price prediction for Vechain in 2025? So again, please like the video if you think it was useful. You can also follow me on my free Telegram group with the link in the description under the video. I also have the link here to my Twitter channel, so also please follow me there. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, because it will help my channel a lot. And with that being said, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.